What's up, YouTube? It's Mini Metal Fab, and today we are going to be working on
the
Ninja 500. We're gonna try to get this thing running, and if we can, we'll be putting it onto that mini bike there. That's my brother Wade's. Say hi, Wade.
Hi.
Yeah. So first things we're gonna do is we got some new parts, so we're gonna install those parts, and then we'll go from there. We got some new oil, new battery. And then this is for the clutch cable to bolt it to the engine. It's like a stay, and then exhaust gaskets. It also needed the exhaust because there was no exhaust, so I got that already and bolted that on. But we got to unbolt it because there's no gaskets and put the gaskets in there. And there's no muffler or anything, but if this runs, we'll be making a custom exhaust for it for when it's on that bike. So we don't need the full exhaust right now. So first we're going to install the new gaskets for the exhaust. So we got to loosen up those bolts right there. There's two of them, one there and one back there behind it. And then we can pull these brackets back. And I got to loosen that bolt there so I can twist the exhaust down a little bit and then slip the gasket in there and put it back up and retighten everything up. And then mimic it on the other side. That's what the gaskets look like for the street bike motor. Completely different from a Predator gasket. They go inside the cylinder, and then the exhaust goes in and like smushes in against it, versus having like a flange that bolts on the outside. So very different. This is all learning. We've never worked on a street bike motor before, so we'll see how this goes. Hopefully we can make it run. That bracket I was talking about is this bracket right here. I made this one for a time being just to see if I could get the clutch to work, and the clutch discs are stuck, so we'll have to pull this cover off and free them up. But I bought the actual one for it. I found it online because you couldn't buy it brand new, so I had to find one on eBay and order it when someone had one they were just selling. Thankfully, I got it for only $4.
Almost have this one out. It's just a little tight to get in with this rad line in the way, but we don't want to take that off because we don't have to yet.
Yep. And I'm gonna crack this loose, the homemade one, and then take that nut out back there and replace it with the new one, the factory one right there.
So we'll take this off, put it back on.
I had to make that one because I couldn't buy it, so I made one. It worked really good. Really, really good.
These are all fingers.
And I welded it, so that one's not two pieces anymore. That one's one piece. Got the new clutch bracket on, and clutch tension is all dialed in with the lever. It's got some free play with the lever, but still pulled all the way in, nice and good. Man, now we just gotta separate the discs actually in there because they're all stuck together. So now we got the exhaust system done and the clutch cable done. So next up, we gotta hook up the battery and see if the starter works and everything. See what electronics work. A square nut in there. Tighten it down. Set the battery in there for now. Nothing.
Looks like the wiring harness is shot, or at least the ignition system.
Let's see here.
Might be disconnected.
Trace it back. That's plugged in. It's all plugged in. That's an issue. That's missing one right there. Huh.
And just going over, seeing if we have any sort of power.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't appear so. wires up here. We have wires there. We have wires everywhere.
Dashboard might not be hooked up. A major plug undone here. This thing. Oh, that's for the headlight.
Well, let's give her a go. And I'll quick flick this right here. Nothing.
So this wiring harness is just so shot. We can't use this. So I found another one, guys, willing to sell me for $100. So we're gonna buy that, and then we'll go from there. We'll unplug this one and plug that one in and see if we can get this thing to light up. Because currently, when you turn the switch, nothing even happens. Because I don't know what's going on with this harness, and everything's spray painted, so it's so hard to tell what color the things are. It's a big mess.
It's obviously missing. Like, certain posts just are broken off, cut away, and on the battery itself, like, there was stuff that was like sort of wire nutted together, not even, and then there's like multiple splice points on the same wire.
Yeah, so we're gonna get a whole new harness and go from there. All right, so I just picked up a new harness. So we are stripping the harness off of this bike. We got most of it off. It was already mostly disassembled. We just have to pull it off the bike. All this stuff here. There's a couple things still I'm not sure about how we undo, so we'll have to figure that out. Like these two down to the starter, and this guy down to the motor. I might just have to cut these. I don't know, and they might have to get spliced back in. I'm not sure yet, so we'll have to figure that one out. Unplug both coils. Got these 3 wires here going to the coils right there.
You have these 6.5.
Green on the outside, red on the inside. White one was up on this right here. We got the whole harness out. Look at this thing. This thing's a mess. But the last thing I gotta undo is this ground right here on the starter solenoid. It runs down to the starter, and then everything should be undone. And we gotta undo this. All right, so we just got the entire harness off. All that's left is these wires here, and then some plugs for the lights and the brake sensors and things, and the plugs for the handlebar mounts.
Gotta say though,
And the
mess of wires,
sparks.
it looks a lot nicer.
Yeah, look at all the junk we pulled off of that thing. This little old harness is shot. It's so bad. The dude messed it up so horribly. I don't even know what he was thinking. I got the main 3 components we need: fuse box, ECU, and this. I don't know. So we got the new harness here, right next to the old one. And as you can see, the old one is a mess. And everything lined up except for this box here, which is important because apparently this is what makes it spark.
So we're getting ready to hook up the new wiring harness. Only thing is we have to figure out how to get these connections going on this one, because on this one it's slightly newer and it's broken up into 2 pieces, so we're gonna have to wire in each thing correctly. But luckily it looks like all the positions are the same and all the wires are the same, so it shouldn't be too bad.
All right, so we got the things on the bike lined up. So we're gonna start mocking everything up to where it needs to be and start plugging things in and see if we can make stuff work. All this stuff. There's so many different things here.
It's hard to make heads or tails of much. But luckily this harness isn't like half gutted like the other one.
Yeah.
Or spray painted.
Yeah.
So you can actually tell what color the wires are.
Yeah. All right, so those 2 plug into there. That's for horns and lights and stuff though, so that doesn't even really matter that much because we're not going to use any of that.
It's a starting point.
Yeah. We're going to make it all reach. It's not reaching where the harness needs to go. Some of the stuff.
Said we weren't going to route everything, but that's the only way to connect everything.
You don't have to route everything, just some.
We're not like zip tying it, we're just getting it to where it can actually reach.
Yep, exactly.
Where it's supposed to be, at least.
That's what sends spark over to our spark plugs there. See? Got stiff coil wires. So those, I don't know if they're backwards or not, so if it doesn't have spark, we'll try switching it. I think these 4 wires are supposed to go together, but these clips are different.
So we might have to do the same thing where we switch the plugs. Ooh, what was that?
I snapped it for now. Just to see. I think this is for headlights then, because he said the headlight ones are going to be cut.
Well, do you think we would have enough for spark yet or no?
I don't know. Also, don't really know what this is for.
Turn signal?
Well, let's see here. Which one do you think lines up better?
Or do you have it? Is it just one plug for your speedometer and your tachometer?
I think. I have no idea.
Is there not like a hole underneath?
No, speedometer is down at the wheel.
Huh.
Yeah. So, I don't really know.
There's no plug for it, I guess.
Both of these plugs are designed the same way. This one has this, which I think this is supposed to go to this here, this ground. I think.
Do you have somewhere to put it or no?
Yeah, it's just 2 female ends.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Just gotta switch it.
Mm-hmm. So I picked up a new igniter box off the guy who sold me this harness, as well as this box that plugs in here. This is his CDI box. So I don't entirely know if this harness will work with this motor. I hope it will. Everything's really, really close. Just there's only a few things that are different. So if not, we'll just try to make it work, or make something work between the 2 harnesses, I guess, and see what we can make happen. But we plug that in, and then I figured out how this thing needs to be wired up. It's not wired up correctly yet, but I'm going to wire it up now, and then we'll be able to hook up a battery to our terminals and see if we actually get life to anything. I matched up these wires from the old harness, new harness, to the ones that came out the engine. There's 4 from here and 4 from there. I had to cut the plugs off the harness because the plugs were different. And all the wires matched up. Green and green, blue and red, black and yellow, and then these ones were different. It's white and green and black and red. So I'm hoping that they're the same. I don't know. I guess we'll find out. But we're making progress. I also got this guy plugged in here, but then these ones don't match up because there's 4 there and 2 there. But they are from the same section of harness. So I don't know if I can just combine 2 and 2 and make it both run to these 2. Turn 4 to 2 and see if it'll work. I don't know. But I also got the starter relay hooked up correctly. I got the positive for the battery here going in. Harness plugged in, going into the, I think, positive for the starter. I'm not sure. I don't know if this one here is positive or this one's positive. Is the one closer to here positive or negative? Like, this is where the starter gear is, so I'm not sure which one it is. I don't know. So I guess we'll just try it and see. I wired all these up, got them all connected. And now this is for the charging system, I'm pretty sure. I think. And there's 4 that come out of the motor, but only 2 on the new harness. So I'm going to hook up the 2 that match, and then we'll try it like that. And if that doesn't work, we'll add these 2 to it and go from there, I guess. But I have everything hooked up. All I need now is, there's positive lead. This is one of the negative leads right here. I need a second negative that will go to the frame then for the battery. and then we can plug it in and turn it on and see if anything works. All right, so we got everything hooked up to how I think it should be. I don't know really. It's hard to tell, but we got our positive here and our two negatives. Got our negative grounded right there for the battery, negative for the harness, positive. Now we just gotta hook up our battery and see if anything turns on. So I've been messing around with this thing and I finally got it to do something. We got the starter to spin over. It doesn't engage. I don't know if it's spinning backwards or forwards or if it's like stuck or what, but if you see here. So when you jump it, it spins. When you use the starter switch, nothing. So there's something going on with the switch. So we gotta look into that. Maybe the contacts are dirty in there or something. And then we gotta figure out why it's not engaging. So we gotta take this cover off over here because the starter is behind this cover. So we're gonna take the cover off so we can see inside here and see what's going on. And before we do that though, I'm gonna try reversing the polarity on the starter and see if it cranks the motor over then. Because maybe it's backwards. Under here. I don't know if there's a gasket in here or...
I don't know. Do you want me to hold the bike up straight so you can get the pan underneath?
Nah. I'll pull this cover off too.
And now we can begin.
There's our sprocket. Okay, so the brakes are going up to that. Yeah, these are charging system. These are both charging system right here. Okay. This is for brake sensor. Kickstand sensor. That's what this one's for, is for the kickstand.
There's a light for that? I didn't know that.
Yeah, there's sensors for those too, yep.
Figured it's just put it down, put it up.
You can't put it in gear while the kickstand's down. It won't let you.
Is that just a Kawasaki thing though?
No, it's all bikes. Yeah. You can disable it. Like you can like change the wiring around and disable it, so then you can put it in gear with the kickstand on. I don't know what is coming out of here. Is that all just Loctite or like gasket maker? It's blue.
Some kind of rubber.
I have no idea.
Loctite gets hard.
I know. Wow, this thing really stuck on there.
You think we're gonna have pudding for oil?
No.
Do you think he drained it?
No.
Is it even budging at all?
Yeah.
Do you see? Okay.
I can pull a gap in it now. It's just
tight. Oh, there she goes.
Oh yeah, oil's coming out. Oh. So yeah, we'll have to get some gasket maker and when we put that on.
I think that might be what that blue stuff is. It might have had a leak, and they tried to
took it off and then didn't buy new gaskets, so they made use gasket maker.
I see that blue stuff right on the edge there.
Yeah. Exactly.
They just.
I think there's dowel pins. Yep, there's dowel pins. Exactly right. Yep, there's charging system, dowel pins, everything.
Relatively
That oil does not look good in there.
No.
The magnets broke. One of the magnets broke for the charging system.
Ooh. That and their custom gasket. Yeesh. That probably broke when they dumped the bike.
I think they used the gasket and then put gasket maker over it too.
Yeah. But the magnet, you think that broke when they dumped it? And then they looked at it and then used this stuff to seal it back up again?
Maybe. Hard to tell.
This is what a $200 bike gets you.
Yep. Hey, it's all learning experience.
There you go. It's just a learning curve. Yikes. That is nasty.
Yeah, that did not look good in there. Did not look good at all.
More of an abrasive than an oil.
Uh-huh. So.
Chain looks good. I don't know about
Tension.
Was it supposed to be super tight or have a little slack? Had to start a new clip.
All right, you can let the bike down. It's done dripping now. All right. You gonna wipe out that cover there?
Ooh, bring the pan here. It's about to. Nope, we got more oil. It's going. You got more oil.
It's coming out the rest of the motor now, probably.
Yeah, we should have left it down. Just reposition the pan. Yeah. That's my B.
All right. Yeah, so it's a one-way bearing. So the starter is supposed to go, it's supposed to spin it over.
Clockwise?
This chain does feel really loose though.
I don't think you're on in the back. Oh, you might be.
Oh, it's on.
Well, you just took the tension off, right?
Yeah. But the tension doesn't even take that much tension out of it. So that could be part of a problem.
It's just slipping.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, do you want to try and hit the starter real quick?
Yeah.
You're just bridging it, right?
Yeah.
Oh, it does do something in the case.
Which way is it spinning? Is it spinning that way? Yeah, it is. It's spinning the wrong direction. All right.
Reverse the polarity on the starter.
Yep.
Okay.
Reverse polarity on the starter.
So switch these two.
Yep.
What I said.
No, not those two. The two outside.
Okay.
Yeah.
These two.
Yeah. That one and the one that's on the slow mode. Yeah.
I see.
And then we'll go from there. See if the motor actually spins now. Let me put this back on. All right, so we're gonna switch the terminals on the starter so that the motor spins the right way. I got everything all cleaned up in here. Got all the old gasket maker out and got the tensioner back on and everything. So, and I tested it, the motor does crank over. So it is not seized, so that is good. All right, well, thank you for watching. We're gonna stop here for today and we're gonna kick back up with part 2 and see if we can get the thing to spin over from the actual starter, not by hand. And
try and get this bike closer to being alive again.
Yeah, so every day we get one step closer. So it's just a work in progress. This is a first for us. Everything's a first, so we're learning, and this is all just about learning and figuring out how these things work. And then if we can get it to run, great. If not, it's all right. So it was $200. So like it's just $200 towards learning, basically.
$200 towards the Kawasaki University.
Yep. But thank you for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and stay tuned for part 2.